Levels are still going.
And in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Prehistoric Podcast, episode 19. We just reset. This is our third reset. We fucked up twice. I'm getting really pissed off. I'm Francois Nijan.
I am Andrew Sorsdahl.
My name is Bradford Peterson, and today I'm going to quickly get through the first topic I wanted to talk about initially, that we talked about a second time, not in detail at all, and the third time. I recently got my wisdom tooth removed. And a friend
that's it.
A friend of ours on the podcast, Josh Paquin, also got his wisdom teeth removed. He got an infection. I didn't. Heather Aikman thinks I'm a pussy. I think that's about all.
Moving on.
That was a very good summary. So wait, what were we? I can't remember what we were talking about.
Your go for the eye shirt.
Oh yeah, okay, right. So.
Okay, hold on. Francois, what kind of shirt have you got on? Black is really slimming. What kind of shirt do you have on?
Thanks for asking, Brad. This is my go for the eye shirt. It's actually my favorite shirt right now. I really like the design. But anyways, earlier this month, if you've ever been to Saskatoon, there's a music venue here called the Capitol, and we film there from time to time. The League of Wolves are good friends of ours, and some of them own like a share in the whatever. Anyways, so we filmed them there from time to time, and some other bands. Earlier this month, they had their album release party.
Which was the date of our last podcast.
Which was the date of our last podcast, May 2nd, I think. Smashing success, the podcast and the event.
Yeah, that was our most viewed podcast.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yep.
Anyway, so at the show, the band that opened for them was called Go for the Eyes, and they were really fantastic. I love their music.
Super awesome people too. We got to meet them, and
Brad and Andrew.
Great people, great music.
Got to meet them. I didn't get the pleasure of meeting them, but you guys said they were fantastic.
Yeah,
and
super awesome.
I really hope that me and Brad's girlfriend
runaway music video, 5,545 views.
5,500.
Nice.
We're getting close.
We hit 5,500.
That's pretty sweet. Brad's girlfriend Kelsey and we bought all the EPs they had there. We just loved it. And anyways, we hope to maybe work with them in the future. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. If you're in Calgary, they're from Calgary, and I mean, if you ever hear about them, go see them. They're fucking awesome.
No, it didn't. It only got 76 views on it.
Yeah, that's our most to date.
Oh no, some of them have like 140.
Well,
200.
the ones from Christmas though, since Christmas.
Yeah, but that's still not to date.
No, you're right. I mean, I should say the most views in the shortest amount of time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
It's like less than a month, and it's already almost at 100. Well, already almost at 100. Like we're fucking big shots.
We are fucking big shots.
It's true.
There's no doubt. Light a fire and then pee it out. Don't like me. Kiss my butt. Just for a minute, let's all do the bump.
Something like that.
It's a Peter Griffin bump.
Can't touch this.
Yeah.
Just like the bad guy from Lethal Weapon 2.
I've got the mad community, so hammer, you can't sue.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So to talk, I just muted it. Like you won't even notice in the audio. Anyway,
I think
so Go for the Eyes is awesome.
Place to have your hand there.
Go for the Eyes is awesome. Then the week after that, actually, we had the pleasure of filming Blue Mules, Cowpuncher, and McQuaig. And McQuaig was
they were
awesome.
Excellent, yeah.
Really looking forward to cutting that footage together because we haven't heard back from them, unfortunately, as of yet. But just you're not sure what to expect because they were really big in the '90s, and then they stopped, and then now they're kind of making a comeback, and they've got bagpipes. So you're thinking, oh gosh, bagpipes. This could either be really good or really bad. And
it's really good.
How did you describe the lead singer's voice?
A mix between God, and
Geddy Lee
and God.
Yeah.
I don't know what God sounds like. I hope he sounds like the creature from South Park.
All right, so let's get your list out.
Okay. So I got lots of topics
New
here.
KD.
So are we going to go with New KD or are we going to...
it.
Okay. All right. So for those of you who don't know, KD is in turmoil. It's the end of the world. It's the end of times.
For all of our American viewers, KD is a craft product in Canada.
I believe in the States it's just Kraft macaroni and cheese.
But here we call it KD, Kraft
It's
Dinner.
actually different. In the States it's actually Kraft macaroni and cheese, and it tastes different, it's a different recipe.
Yeah.
And in Canada it is Kraft Dinner.
And we can't get Kraft macaroni and cheese.
No, we cannot get
and they can't get
KD.
KD.
No.
It's really weird.
It's supposed to be the same, but it's not. I've tried. It's not the same. It doesn't taste the same. Ours is better, in my opinion. I might be a little bit biased there, but...
But if you were to have... Would you
Biased
rather
there, but-
have a Caesar and Kraft dinner or a Bloody Mary and Kraft macaroni and cheese?
I like not puking, so I think I'm going to go with Katie and Caesar, but...
Thank you. That's Canadiana for you.
Yeah.
If you want a Canadian, play a little hockey.
Bloody Marys aren't even that bad, though.
Anyway, so Kraft Dinner's changing the recipe
not
from a yellow substance, Francois, some sort of yellow dye.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's not the end of times. Kind of, I guess. I don't know. Katie.
We didn't know what we had until it was gone.
Yeah, we really didn't. It's just something's there and then it's gone. It's like when they took away Twinkies. People didn't know they wanted Twinkies as much as they did until they were gone, but now they're back, so it's all good. So maybe Katie will come. Anyways, point being, Katie's changing. So essentially, there's two different types of dye in Katie right now, which gives it its neon yellow color. It's distinct.
Vibrant.
It's vibrant yellow. It's iconic color. The shit you see in the commercials. And anyways, I think it's like dye yellow 9 and yellow 3, I think are the name of the two dyes. Anyways, I don't know if Kraft wants to go more natural or what their deal is, but they're taking the dyes out, and which is gonna rob Kraft Dinner of its neon coloring.
But apparently, I have the article up here. Apparently, it won't affect the taste, but I think that's bullshit. But we'll see. We'll see about that.
Yeah, I believe that's bullshit.
Apparently, there's a quote here from the spokesperson. All the ingredients must work together to deliver the distinctive taste, appearance, and texture consumers expect and love from Kraft Dinner. Our fans have made it clear they won't settle for anything less, and neither will we.
Fee fi fo fum. I smell Kraft Dinner.
I guess what I ultimately say is we are Canadians, and we will have our heavily starchy.
Like if the chemicals and the things that give me cancer in Kraft Dinner are what make it taste so good, leave it there. I don't care.
I want my starchy, fucking chemical infested.
Like cancer.
Just preservatives. Like I want it. I need it.
Like
I'll have it.
You're probably mummifying your colon every time you eat Kraft Dinner.
Oh, I would think so. Hi, Kelsey.
She's gonna just walk past the camera. Oh. Okay.
She's fucking scared. Anyway.
Yeah.
So they're gonna try paprika.
And some other shit. They're gonna try to mix a bunch of shit together.
Kraft says it will.
I love what
Kraft says it will remove all artificial preservatives or synthetic colors in its iconic macaroni and cheese meal by the end of next year.
So I love how it's.
We have time by the end of next year.
The spokesperson's like, yeah, we're gonna like mix a bunch of shit up and see if we can get her like to go or whatever.
That's what it said. It said they're gonna try to
Basically,
replicate the flavor.
Those two dyes, known collectively by their scientific name, tartrazine in Europe and elsewhere, have already been removed from Kraft Dinner's macaroni and cheese in Europe. I don't give a fuck. Europeans don't probably like. Why? I don't. Anyways.
Okay, I have a question actually, Andrew, because I've
Yeah.
never seen Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's like actual elbow macaronis, isn't it?
It's the noodles are a little bit different, and the cheese it just doesn't quite taste the same. I don't know how to.
Is it like a powder, yellow powder?
Yeah, it looks the same.
Except
the
that
noodles are a little bit bigger, they're flatter. They're more like elbow macaroni
Yeah.
as opposed to like the Katie noodles that we're used to. And I just can't quite. It's like if you've ever tried cream of mushroom soup from the States, like Campbell's mushroom soup. It's awful. It tastes different. It just tastes. It's not that it's bad for any reason other than I'm so used to whatever they have in Canada. There are certain products, just because I have lots of family in the States,
Yeah.
that like they will get us to buy like a case of cream of mushroom soup and bring it there because it's different and they don't like the American.
An interesting one is
Yeah.
one that I do not fucking understand. So usually, like in between Canada and the United States, you have products that are different, but not necessarily worse or better. It's based generally on preference.
Yeah.
In Ontario,
used to,
you
yeah.
can't get fucking goodie rings.
You can't get goodie
You
rings.
can't get goodie rings in Ontario. Like
It's
Dad's
just,
goodie rings.
It's just
I
a
don't know what that
Western
is.
thing.
Yes, you absolutely have seen goodie rings.
I've probably seen them.
There's
I
like
just don't know
those
what you're
little
talking
chocolate circles.
They
They're
have
flat.
Peanut butter and oatmeal. And
Oh, okay.
They're really good. And if you don't like them, I don't know.
Well, everyone likes them. It's objectively.
I'm not a big-
Everyone's like people are. I don't really like those things, and then they just sit there and fucking eat them.
I'm not a big peanut butter guy.
No, it's not peanut
It's
butter
not.
though.
It's got like a very subtle.
It's like the best tasting cookie ever made.
Yeah.
But they're very dense and very sweet, and they're tough to eat more than 5 of. But you will because you
Yeah.
have to, and you physically can't buy them in Ontario.
But you can't. I have to. Whenever I go back for Christmas and that kind of thing, I bring a few boxes back because they're my sister's absolute favorite thing. So for
They're so
Christmas, I
good.
just get her like 4 or 5 boxes of them.
And here before you had to buy like Dad's oatmeal cookies. It was like a mixed kit with oatmeal, chocolate chip, and Dad Goodie Rings, and then they just made chocolate chip and Goodie Rings, and then they just made full Goodie Ring boxes, and then they enlarged the Goodie Ring boxes.
They enlarged the boxes, but they shrunk the actual cookie. Now.
Cookie,
The
yeah.
cookies are smaller now, but see, we're
I can't believe you
we're
never
two
had
fat
them.
guys talking about food, and Francois is like, oh,
No, he will have had them. He will have
Unless
had
it's
them.
Coca-Cola, I don't really care.
He will have had them.
Big fan of Coke.
Lena can attest to that, I'm sure.
Floreos, remember that, Lena? Probably not.
Anyway, so yeah.
I don't really want Goodie Ring.
So what's next on our list? We talked about Goodie Rings. We talked about Katie.
All right, so
Live tweet us if you can get Goodie Rings in your province or state.
Thank you for that. Bradford.
At Prehistoric Film on Twitter.
okay, so let's talk about
Catholic
something
Brad's
we've
most
we've all seen. Really exciting. Recently, we got
God.
a new look at. Well, we got a look at the new Star Wars movie
Oh, yes.
and the new Batman versus Superman movie. We got
Also
two
very
new
exciting.
trailers, and they were both fucking awesome. They were so good. I was very impressed. Star Wars trailer. We get a look at all the new. We get a look at all the new aesthetics, new stormtroopers, new ships, the new X-wings, the new Tie fighters, all that shit. And then Singer at the end, Han Solo, Chewbacca. We knew they were gonna be back,
Yeah,
but first time we've seen them in their suits
Chewie.
in 30 years.
My favorite is the line that
Yeah.
Chewie, we're home.
And the Millennium
Oh,
Falcon.
so good.
The one thing that was really shocking for me that I don't think was ultimately a surprise for a lot of people in the new Batman trailer is that we're getting a change of scenery, and thanks to the new actor, we're going to have a Bostonian Batman this year. Right? So he's going to run the marathon. He's going to cheer for the Bruins.
I'm very confused.
Is he also? Oh, I don't.
Did you
I-
say?
I'm
Oh,
not-
Bostonian. I thought you said Palestinian, and I'm
a
like,
Bostonian.
yes, we do.
Bostonian.
We
Bostonian.
are indeed gonna have a Boston.
So Gotham's done.
Yeah, it's
We're
Boston.
in Boston now.
Boston.
Fucking
Go
Boston.
find your khakis. Because you're in fucking Boston now.
Batman.
And
gonna get- is
Marky
he-
Mark is definitely going to be in it as well.
Yeah, he's gonna
Just
be Robin.
follow him around.
Just he's
no.
from- He's from Boston.
Yeah.
He likes to
Be in
beat-
Boston.
He likes
Mark-
to nearly beat black people to death.
Marky's gonna play a cop, and Batman's gonna be with him, and they're just gonna yell at each other. Batman's gonna yell at him, "Are you a cop?" That's what he's gonna yell at him.
Okay, so
I'm Batman. Are you a cop?
Get Matt Damon and Jeremy Renner. Just
just a great film.
just bank robbers.
It is. It's Boston Man versus Superman.
Yeah.
I was about to make-
Superman.
I was about to
Superman.
make a very joke in very poor taste about limbs being blown up. 'Cause
Oh,
there's-
no.
There's
No,
none of
no,
that,
no.
though,
Much
'cause
too
that's-
soon.
That's yeah. It's
What's
not,
the
it's
South?
not been
What?
11
What?
years.
I was gonna say, is that the South Park?
11 years, right?
Yeah.
Cancer's finally funny.
Okay, so but let's actually talk about Star Wars for real.
Yep.
Pretty fucking sweet trailer.
It was really good. I because we grew up with the prequel trilogy, I feel like our generation has a softer spot for it on our hearts. It's like the previous generation hated those fucking movies. Like they disowned them almost completely entirely. But because we were in the stage where we all grew up with them, we were young when they came out and were in theaters. We all went and saw them in theaters. Those were our Star Wars movies essentially. So we all have a soft spot for them. But I mean, it is. You have to admit that it's like there's a different feeling you get when you watch the prequel trilogy and when you watch episode 4, 5, and 6. When you watch episode 4, 5, and 6, it's like it's an event. It's a magic. It's magical. And then with the prequel trilogy, it really is. It's like the action. Some of the action's cool, but it's like it feels like a CG infused. It just doesn't have the same feeling.
We've just done it. Like you had said, Lord of the Rings was done at the perfect time. The new Star Wars trilogy was done at a bad time.
Mm.
Like it was just
Well,
way too much of experimental time in fantasy filmmaking.
And I don't know.
That's
It was just. I think George Lucas,
And who
it
the
was.
fuck allowed Jar Jar Binks to get through anything? Why is that a thing?
I mean,
I know it's the thing that everyone hates about Star Wars, but I really fucking hate it. I don't know why. I think it's.
I don't like Hayden Christensen way more than I don't like the CG.
see,
I don't like that he's cheerful, young, happy boy. It's like, oh my god, I love pod racing and everyone. And the next movie, it's like, I'm the greatest Jedi that ever lived. And I'll kill everyone. And then whenever he talks about Padme, he looks off and like grits his teeth hard. He's like, you're thinking of something real sexual. I'm like, that's what you're doing, you little creep.
No, but that's the thing is like it's weird because it's like when I look at Darth Vader and I think about how I would have wanted him
the character
to be when he was young. It's like in the Clone Wars, the animated series of the Clone Wars. If you haven't seen it, is actually.
Fucking
I remember when it came out, I was super skeptical. I was like, "This is just shit. This is a cartoon. They're just tearing apart the canon." It's actually done so well, and it's like so reverent to the characters, and it's not like a cheesy. It's like you see in cartoons sometimes.
I wish that guy would have been Hayden.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you look at him and the way they portrayed Anakin Skywalker in that series was so good. He was very regal and like dignified and wise and like not an idiot and not a little whiny kid. It's
But-
like
but they had the-
I'm one of Hayden Christensen's few supporters actually. Like everybody hates him,
Yeah.
but I actually really enjoy his performance because it's super intense. And it just like I get a lot of emotion from his performance. I
way too fucking
actually enjoy it. And the scene in one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars movies is the scene in Episode 2 when he goes and when his mother dies and he kills the Sand People. That scene is brutally effective, and it's one of my favorite scenes. It's one of the most emotional scenes of the whole franchise. And it's like Hayden Christensen, I think, nails it. It's like I saw a special feature where they were describing the casting choices for the prequel trilogy, and they were one woman was describing why they chose Hayden Christensen, and she said it's really in his eyes. It's like he looks very
Intense.
yeah, very intense and very like shit's going on in his head. He looks what's the word, angsty. He just looks super angsty,
See,
and I just totally agree.
I'm kind of in between
But for me, that guy never would have become the sniveling old man who had his helmet removed by his son who wanted to see with his own eyes. Like, he would have been laying on the floor like, I can still rule the empire. I can still rule the empire.
Yeah, no,
Luke's like, Dad, let me get you on the ship. He's like, fuck yeah, you're getting me on that ship.
I agree.
We're building a new Death
They
Star.
should have. I think what Episode 2, which is probably your least favorite Hayden Christensen, but Episode 2, I like how they did Anakin because he's young and he's brash and he's
my
ridiculous. In Episode 3, they should have had him be like Anakin in Clone Wars. Then he should have made this transfer where he's matured, he's grown up. It's like they did it kind of, but he was still a little bit too immature and too kiddish in Episode 3, which was a problem. And his like
it was very abrupt.
and it was.
That's
But I
the
mean,
thing,
like,
I
I don't think it's Hayden Christensen's fault. I think like a lot of it is bad
Right.
writing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But my problem is, ultimately, if you're going from angsty angry, oh, fuck, my hand's going to go to the green screen. If you're going angsty angry, you're starting here in Episode 1, and Episode 2, you're already here. Like, there's no this. Like, I would have liked to see...
But the thing is, you're going to run into that no matter what you write, because unless you write the transition from him being like a small boy into being a young adult. Like we didn't really see a teenage...
Well, he's a teenager in...
I get, but he's like 17 or
Yeah.
18. He's
Okay,
you don't
so-
see him. He's like 8-year-old boy. I like you said, I like pod racing, and now
He likes pussy.
He likes pussy and killing people with a lightsaber, and that's what he's all about.
So my thing is, you look at Episode 6, and it's a continuity... Or Episode 4, it's a continuity issue. Ben Kenobi, and not to say that we need to start nitpicking continuity in Star Wars, because there are a lot of things that people were upset about.
Mm-hmm.
But
Who shot first?
for example, in Episode 4, Ben talks about, like, oh, like, your father and I were good friends, and we fought together in the Clone Wars. Like, I would have never called that person a friend. He's just a dick to him all the time, right off the bat.
In
you
Episode
can't-
3, though, they're buddies. Like
That's awful.
they
That's so
don't-
weird, though.
What do you mean?
It's so weird that... Oh, I'm just so angry.
Because I mean,
I'm just so
the thing is,
angry.
like, because they're. I think it's got a lot to do with their look. It's like they don't look that different in Episode 3 than they do in Episode 2, and then they just kind of tell you, yeah, the Clone Wars. They don't. The thing is, they never expressively state in Episode 3. It's like how long the Clone Wars has been going on. For all you know, it's like that movie could have picked up right when Episode 2 left off. You
It
just
did.
don't really know.
Yeah.
Whereas the Clone Wars has been going on for years and years and years, like something like 5 years or something. So I mean, Anakin has obviously grown up and made a lot of. You really do. It's bad that you have to do this. You shouldn't have to watch the Clone Wars, but the Clone Wars animated series really helps
everything out.
helps the series, because I mean it makes you respect it. Anakin gets this extended arc that he just needs for him to make sense, because it's like one of my biggest problems with episode 3 is I like episode 3. I think out of the first 3, episode 1, 2, and 3, I think it's the best one. It's good solid action movie. Fucking awesome lightsaber scene at the end. But anyways, is the shift he makes from actually like he's a Jedi to Sith. It's like it's so damn abrupt.
That's the thing, and in that Clone Wars series, they do such a good job of subtly dropping hints of him.
Yeah.
Like, you don't hate him ever. Like, I actually sympathize with Anakin Skywalker in a new way that I didn't before, because they drop all these little hints where it's like, he's like, we need to save my Padawan, and then they're like, that's not the Jedi way. Like, if she'll live, she'll live. If she dies, we can't just go out there because of your emotions. Like,
Yeah.
we'll save her if it's strategic and it makes sense. We're not just going to send a bunch of men to this random planet to fight pirates to save your Padawan.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck that, I'm doing it. So it's like, in the movies, they make it out to be Anakin's emotions are evil always, and it's always lust and power that he gives into, and never like things that like all the
Positive
Jedi have this thing
emotions, yeah.
have these positive emotions that they also control. Where like you don't just you don't go save someone's life because that you have an emotion for them. It's all about like, is it fair and honest and just and all that kind of shit.
I like.
Whereas like Anakin's like,
I think
you need to not lust for pussy all the time, Anakin.
Well, I think the reason for his motivation is good. Like I like. I mean, like.
Lust for pussy.
Like some of the best stories, Romeo and Juliet and such. It's like love is a good reason. I think that's good motivation.
It is,
but the way they do it in the movie isn't good enough, because like he has a vision of his wife dying and he's like, "Nah, I have to become a Sith and decide to kill children."
You're doing
Why?
You're actually doing a very good job of imitating. He kind of talks like William Shatner. But Padme,
It's like William Shatner.
I love
if he,
you.
If he was having like horrible like cramps.
Yeah.
And like tearing, all like his eyes were tearing up.
but
all the
Padme,
time.
I need to see you again, and I've grown up.
It's all Obi-Wan's fault.
Yeah, like
He's holding me back.
As he's killing the sand people.
and the kids.
And the children,
It's
that is just so, it's like, I like it because it's like, Darth Vader in episode 4, 5, 6, he never, the only really evil, expressly evil thing he does is when they destroy Alderaan, and it's not really his call, it's like they destroy Alderaan and he's just kind of there and he doesn't give a
Specifically,
fuck.
like he's strangling, force choking that guy. He's like, "Stop, Vader!" He's like, "As you wish."
Yeah,
it's like just some fucking guy.
Well,
telling him
that's
to
Grand
stop.
Admiral Tarkin.
It's just,
but
But so
but
what?
I'm
He's
just, I'm
fucking
just saying,
Darth
it's like,
Vader.
he
He'll
doesn't
kill
do
whoever
anything
the fuck he
evil, and it's
wants.
like, one of my big, not a big problem with episode 4, 5, and 6 is I was never scared of Darth Vader. It's like he never did anything to make me like.
yeah, but that's because you saw the evil of the Sith. Like, I'm sure in fucking when the first movie came out, I was like, oh my god.
No, I get it, but I mean, like, I can't. It's like the Emperor. I fear him because it's like he's evil. He does evil shit, and he's like
Something,
psycho-maniacal.
something dark
But it's like Darth Vader. It's like he's the Sith Lord, and he's so bad. It's like I need to see him do like. So I like.
It's just an assumption.
I like
Yeah.
that moment when he kills the children. Like I like that as a thing, like him killing kids, because it's so evil, and it's like he has this evil moment.
Yeah.
But I wish there would have been more motivation for him killing the children. Like it's just he goes from not being a child murdering Jedi to a child murdering Sith in about 30 minutes.
Well, the thing is, he goes from blindly following the Jedi to blindly following the Sith.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, I'm just, I don't want to be a puppet, so I'm gonna become a Sith and just
Be a
kill
And then it's
puppet.
like,
children. Like,
Kill
it's,
children.
it's like Mace Windu. He's a friggin' dick. Kill him. And it's like, no, I'm not a friggin' dick. Don't kill me. He's like, I'm killing you.
So anyways, it's like I said, I like with the Sand People, it's a power, like that's probably one of the most powerful scenes
It
in
is.
episode 3 is when the kid is like, Master Skywalker, what are you going to do? And then you just see the lightsaber go out. Like that's a powerful moment when it's like he's gone, he's over the deep end. Like there's no turning. I like that because it's a moment where it's like there's no turning back at this point. It's like now you're a Sith and like
Oh,
that's it.
absolutely.
You can't be redeemed, which I like. It's like in episode 2 when he kills the Sand People. Nobody really knows about it except for Padme, like nobody knows about it. She's the only one that knows.
But it's all, like you said,
and then
about
Yoda.
Yeah.
But it's like motivation, like you said. It's like, yeah, Padme is gonna die.
So I have to kill kids. It's like that doesn't make
Yeah, well,
sense.
Padme is gonna die. It's like, oh, is there something you can do to save her? It's like,
It's
okay,
like-
I'll kill him then.
In episode 2, it was more effective because it's like his mom died. Like if mom dies, rage kills the sand people. It's like it made
makes
sense.
sense.
It's like it really,
Well-
and it really,
Especially since before that they're talking about like your emotions are bad, don't give in to your emotions. And then it almost feels like he's been bottling up all this anger,
Yeah.
and then finally his mother dying, boom! That's a big turning point. He can't control his emotions, can't control that rage anymore, and he kills a bunch of people.
And I like that's the thing.
Sand people.
Actually, I'm
Sand
wrong.
people.
I'll correct myself. That is one of the positive things where it's like the sand people are actually just friggin' dicks, and so are the women and children. Kill them all anyway. Whatever.
I
That actually doesn't
yeah.
bother me at all. I'm like, yes, I would do the exact same thing, and then I would still revere myself as a strong Jedi.
See, to me, it's like I like that. It's like he essentially committed genocide. Well, he didn't kill every single one on the planet, but I mean, like he slaughtered an entire tribe. Like it's just like an absolutely brutal act, and he just did it completely out of malice and emotion. And those are just
And then
He
felt
obviously
guilty,
has-
guilty about it afterwards. Too,
yeah, well,
right?
yeah, murdered these kids.
Well, the American heroes cut the Nazis down in droves, and they weren't that bad.
Total side note, though, probably one of the best jokes in this Family Guy. I'm not sure which parody it is, but they're in the Land Cruiser. He's talking about like killing sand people, and he's like like Star Wars, and he's like, no.
What?
It's like there's a moment in Family Guy where he's like, Peter and
I'm just gonna hold on to that Star Wars
Yeah.
hand. I'm just gonna quickly click here. Okay, and we're back talking about Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Continue. You were saying something.
I was just saying how good Star Wars is.
And Family Guy had a good joke.
Family Guy had a good joke that wasn't racist at all that we're not going to discuss.
So we got on a tangent about the prequel trilogies, but like
I'm
I
excited
said,
for the new ones.
I
know they haven't shown Mark Hamill yet because they're still doing his makeup. They probably started it 2 or 3 years ago. They're really just trying to make him look like a human being.
just like again,
Again.
it's like Mickey Rourke. It's like it takes like 17 hours to get him looking like good
Yeah,
enough.
but if you see what he like before all the botched plastic surgery, like Mickey Rourke used to be like a fairly attractive human being.
No, it was great.
Like,
And then he
have you
just
seen,
fucked his face right
Pope
up.
of Greenwich Village.
No, yeah, it's
So good.
I at school I knew a makeup artist. He taught us a class, or like he was a guest speaker one time, and then he worked on one of Mickey Rourke's first films after he came back.
Or he didn't and just put that credit in his.
Yeah, just put it in. And
As Vancouver Film School.
anyways, he said I can't remember. He said it was like a ridiculous amount of time. It was like 2 hours, and it's like most people, and it's like not he wasn't playing a creature or anything. It's like everybody else
Just
just
a
is
person.
corrective makeup, and you're on. It's like Mickey Rourke. It's like we got to do like lift parts of his face up and cover parts of his face up and like get fake hair. It's like he just looks awful, like just bad.
Objectively not a good looking.
Yeah, anymore. And he used to be a good-looking guy. Anyways, yeah, the prequels, like I said, I feel like we have a soft spot for them in our hearts because we grew up with them, and I mean the previous generation just fucking hated them.
Yeah.
But what I've heard thus far from the new trailer and the response, and like me too, it's like it really captures the feeling of episode 4, 5, and
Yeah.
6. Like it just feels like it. The practical effects,
Anything
the
else?
stormtroopers, the classic
Yeah.
cast, the cinematography, the ships, just the green. Because I mean, another big problem with the prequel trilogy was everything was so shiny. It's like it doesn't feel like it's the same universe. The prequel trilogy doesn't feel because the CG,
Why are all the
the
ships so chrome? Like chrome is expensive.
yeah, it's and Naboo
All the
just
ships
look
are-
chrome.
So chrome, and I don't give a fuck about the intricacies of intergalactic trading or law. There's so
See, I
much of
do
that.
care about that. That's the one thing.
See, I enjoyed that
That's the one thing I
because
like.
I like that
It was
it
too
fleshed
much,
out
though.
it
It
fleshed
was too
out the
much.
universe, which
It
I
was-
liked.
It was too much though. Like if
There was
they-
a lot of it.
But for me,
if
with
they
the whole
toned
pol-
it back, it would have been awesome.
my whole thing with the politics is, all you get from 4, 5, and 6 is,
pew pew.
no. Lord Vader has dealt with the Senate. Well, they won't be a problem now. And you're like, what Senate? It's like the larger systems will keep the smaller systems in check. It's like, what
They
galactic,
just
what
brush
galactic
over
Senate?
And then
yeah.
something dark side. Something complete.
So what you get is a nice look at how the galaxy organizes and what the Senate looked like, and
I enjoyed it, but I do agree with Andrew. It's like there was
like,
just a fucking lot of it.
Like
And
so much was like, okay, like wow, that was really
It's like
cool.
we're in
And
that
then
Senate
keeps
chamber
going,
for
yeah.
most of those movies.
you know,
I move to pass this bill.
there,
All in favor?
you should watch this. There's in the Clone Wars trilogy. I was actually reading this thing that complains, and I didn't even realize it until I was done watching because I'm a poli sci nerd. It's like I really like global politics and economics and stuff, like in a weird way.
You would watch like if they did a fake, like your local like city
like-
council thing on TV. If they did that for like a fake Star Wars one,
Yeah.
you choose
It's like
that
I
over,
motion
yeah.
to pass 1848, motion 6, all in favor. But anyway, during the one episode, or there's a 3-episode span during the Clone Wars cartoon series where it's actually just in the Senate chambers discussing politics. It's like this person makes a motion and then they counter and then they have a side meeting to like try and barter back and forth to get more votes on the side of this person. And
That's been
it's really
riveting.
funny.
The trailer for episode 7 looks bloody phenomenal. I'm very, 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 very excited. Yeah, I can't remember being this excited about episode 2 or 3. I can't. I look forward to them, but I mean, I feel like a little giddy child about episode 7. I want to see it so
I feel like that.
badly.
Yes, about Star Wars, but for me, I know you feel the same way. Jurassic World, the new trailer with the secondary trailer they put out recently.
They fixed. Yeah, the new trailer was good. They really needed to put out the new trailer because a lot of people had problems. Like I didn't. I like dinosaurs, man.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
The more dinosaurs movies,
Dinosaurs.
better.
Chris Pratt, you got me. Like
It's like I'll watch anything that's got dinosaurs in it. Literally anything. I fucking love
Francois
dinosaurs.
hates Chris Pratt though, so that was
I hate Chris Pratt.
Yeah, he's a stunt man. It's like, oh, you don't care about children's hospitals, you fucking.
Oh, Chris Pratt. Yeah.
All
He's not.
He was
He's
so
not Golden Boy.
passionate. Now I forgot.
Like they've actually been releasing so many articles about like how what a good guy is, and it's like it's like a new article every morning. The headlines like Chris Pratt.
Bill Cosby was a good guy for a while too. He was a good guy. Anyways, Chris Pratt. I like him. Good actor. Is he? I don't give a fuck about his social
He took his
life.
Bill Cosby place.
Yeah. Chris Pratt is probably the next Bill Cosby. That's just a fact. Like you heard here first, folks. Chris
If
Pratt
you
is the
made
next Bill
over
Cosby.
$100,000 acting for a film, you are scum, regardless of your actual personal life.
I don't care about you. If your acting skills are good, though, it's like there you go. That's what I watch you for. That's why I like you. He's a good actor. He's a good actor. Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty good. Parks and Rec is good. He's good. He's pretty good. He's not the reason I'm excited for Jurassic World. I mean, you could put anybody in there. I wouldn't care. I'm not. I don't go to a movie to see Chris Pratt. But I do go to a movie to see dinosaurs, and I'm very excited.
That's
for
stupid.
dinosaurs.
They all died a long time ago, and they weren't that important. There you go.
You can't really like they're cool though. I really like dinosaurs.
Like their Godzilla was real, and he just walked around, like a bunch of them walked around.
No. God put bones in the earth to test our faith, and obviously you guys have failed the test.
That's true.
Well, according to Ken Ham, creator of the Creation Museum, there is such a thing as historical science, which means like, oh, we weren't actually there to observe things, so how could we know? So people probably lived with dinosaurs and whatever, and God, whatever. That's it. That's
Talking science here on the Prehistoric Podcast.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, but the
Coming
new
at you
Jurassic
live,
World trailer
you crew.
looks awesome. I know I was reading online, a big problem. Yeah, it's recording.
No, but I don't know.
this level. I think it's just because we're rendering that thing. Oh, I just hit it off. just.
What? I don't understand what.
No, they keep freezing. Like, I'm just hoping it's recording. I'm sure it is.
It's just because your computer's like that computer's like, please, Massive, no more work, Massive. It's too
Dying.
much. It's too much work, Massive.
Anyways, Jurassic World trailer. So a new trailer just came
Is
out.
Goldblum going to be in it?
There, no, and that's sad.
That's very
Goldblum
sad.
is like the best part of those movies.
That and Independence
Is that
Day.
fat guy who's always evil in it? But he's
No.
really not.
This
evil?
is set. This is completely different. Like this is
Yeah, the guy
not
was Newman, yeah.
like they're not associated with. It's
No.
not about InGen. It's set like 20 years later. It's got nothing to do with the other movies.
No, it's just
Years
after. It does in that it's
It's in the same universe, but it's like
it's
essentially
the same park. years after
essentially
it's been developed.
well, it's
Right?
essentially another company bought all the assets that InGen had and just built new shit.
InGen?
InGen,
Oh,
INGEN.
I
That
thought you
was
were
the
saying
company.
like engine.
That was the
Like an
company.
engine.
So the a problem a lot of people had with the first 2 trailers they released is, number one, genetically engineered dinosaur. Kind of agree. I thought it was stupid, but I was like, whatever. I can deal with it.
What is Chris Pratt's line?
That
should-
depends on what kind of dinosaur they cooked up in that lab. There's also the dialogue was cringeworthy, but whatever. And
Pretty brutal.
and then they have the genetically modified T-Rex thing, and the Indominus Rex, I think they're calling it.
What kind
the
of
iRex
dinosaur did
now
they
from Apple.
cook up in that lavender?
And at the end of the trailer, you see Chris Pratt riding alongside velociraptors, seemingly controlling them. So a lot of people were pissed off because they're like, "That's fucking stupid." And I was kind of agreeing. Well, I actually thought it was kind of cool. I like the scene when he's on the motorcycle and the raptors are there. I was like, that looks kind of cool. But anyways, with the new trailer, they kind of got rid of people's dispositions about that, and people getting pissed off because I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're just trying to like make it bigger and like just using all this cheesy shit to make it a better movie." But in the new trailer, they kind of explain why they're doing that in the park. It's like the first thing Chris Pratt says, because a lot of people were like, they thought he was controlling them, but he says in the trailer, he's like, it's not about control, it's about like a mutual respect or something. It's about, he says something specific, but anyways, he's not controlling them.
He's like coexisting.
Behavior, like he's a behavioral guy, so he's learning how they behave. It's like people
So
who
he's been able to like Jane Goodall and the chimps.
or people with
Or that-
sharks,
that-
same thing.
That guy who
Sharks, yeah.
lived with monkeys and then one day they killed him.
That one guy, yeah.
The gorillas, did you hear about that?
Gorillas, yeah.
Yeah, but he lived with them for like 30 years and then one day they just killed him.
Yeah, but gorillas also do that to each other.
I was gonna say that you just can't.
But like 30, like he lived most of his natural life with them. Like he went through entire generations of them. Like they had lived and died and he had like buried them and made it. And then one day they just killed him. Can we mate with them?
No.
Interspecial mating happens.
No.
Wolves and dogs.
Wolves and dogs.
Can we mate with them?
No.
How close? What
No.
does it take?
No, I know we can't. What did I see one time?
New low with the Prehistoric Podcast.
There's some or other.
Why can't we mate with them?
We're not close enough, Bradford.
We're so
That
close.
would be so fucked.
There's a video actually I saw recently.
Oh, here we go.
No, that's a bad. I realize the bad timing of that now. But it's like a little girl in a zoo. Let me finish.
Okay,
She's beating her chest in a gorilla.
Thanks, everybody,
and
for-
the gorilla runs at the glass in the zoo, and to attack the girl who's like beating her chest and almost breaks through the glass.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's a terrifying video.
That's awful. I would.
Does she get fucking scared?
Well, yeah, they all run out of the camera shuts off, but as the camera shuts off, they're running out of the area where the gorilla had just like. He's at the other side of the enclosure, and she starts like beating her chest, like, "Oh, I'm doing that in front of the monkeys. It's funny." And then from across the enclosure, this fucking massive gorilla runs at the glass and like jumps at it and attacks. And you see it start to crack, and then the camera, like they're running away, and it shuts
shit.
off. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Okay, so that Jurassic World, that's cool.
So, well, I
Close
was
this.
going to finish. So they said, yeah, so it's like, they explained that he's not controlling them. They don't have like mind control chips or anything stupid like that. It's like he's a behavioral guy who knows who's learning how they behave. That's why he can kind of like
But he doesn't
do
know
that
how they
shit.
cooked them up.
No, he can't. He doesn't know how to cook them up. And then the other thing they said with the dinosaur that they explained is that the park has been open for a while and its attendance is way down, and so they need to keep bringing new attractions in, and then they essentially they've run out of cool dinosaurs to clone and like bring into attractions. So then they were like, well, the only thing essentially the higher ups told them that you have to create a new dinosaur now, and so I like that they're working that into the story. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. Definitely looks more action packed than any of the other Jurassic Parks have been. It looks way more action. So I'm really excited for it. This summer should be exciting because of Jurassic Park. So got a couple other topics here. We're all gonna go see Avengers on Thursday. Pretty excited about that.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, very excited. Brad watched the Avengers with me today, but I've been watching all the previous films to get geared up and get excited. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah,
for
it
Age of
was
Ultron.
good. I liked the guy in the suit and the other guy. It was good shit.
Freaking cool or whatever.
And there was I was watching this video recently, and there's this little girl in it. You fucking monster.
Yeah, because I'm the one who brought
love
up the
we
topic. I'm the one who brought up the topic of mating with fucking apes.
I
That's the thing that talk
I was
about.
purely speculative and scientific. You're coming in here with a big fucking football jersey on, talking about young women. You fucking monster.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like,
Absolutely.
yeah, I saw she was across a parking lot. Damn.
We're getting there.
20 more.
Oh, new low.
Damn. Damn, girl.
I'm
Girl.
gonna fuck my Cyrus.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Stitches.
New favorite rap artist.
So there's a rap
No
artist
idea.
out of California. His name is Stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew, actually, you want to play a
Yeah,
little
I will
bit?
play my favorite song.
I don't know how well this is going to translate over the microphones, but hopefully well.
I'm gonna fuck my Cyrus.
Okay, you get that ready. So anyway, Stitches is this guy. He's unsigned.
That's
Believe it or not.
That's unbelievable. With
So if
a
we
name
want
like
to start
Stitches.
producing music.
Have you not? You have to have heard this. It's hysterical.
Is this it?
I think you guys played it probably one time. I remember you guys singing it.
My favorite part. Oh wait, you'll hear it in a minute. It's
Okay,
pretty.
we're
pretty
gonna
awesome.
play it right through.
Oh, stop this! You.
YouTube won't flag us for this for copyright infringement?
I don't, not Stitches.
Okay.
If it does, we'll just turn the audio off and how boring this.
Why is it stopping there?
Are you pressing play?
No, I'm actually not pressing play. I'm just
I
pressing
didn't even
pause.
watch you do it for real. Turn it off, bud.
I'm gonna put cocaine in your ass. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I just bought the Molly. Now I'm trying to fuck Molly Cyrus. I just bought the Molly. Now I'm trying to fuck Molly Cyrus.
I think Suede was playing this the other day.
Yeah.
I'ma put my dick in your ass. I'ma put cocaine in your ass. I'ma put my dick in your ass.
Your hat is fucked.
Billy Ray Cyrus, I'm your daddy now. I'ma put my dick up in your ass and it ain't coming out. If you don't like what I'm saying now, I don't give a fuck, cause it won't change the fact that my dick is in your butt. But cocaine will make it numb. So I'ma put
Man, I want to get a hold of Stitches, and this should be our fucking intro song.
we can have a baby and call him Stitches Cyrus. I'm a dumb mental motherfucker.
See, if the lyrics weren't so terrible, like it's actually kind of a fat beat.
I love cocaine. Cause it
What's
got
that
me
favorite?
feeling
I
like
love
I'm
cocaine.
I could have chose Nicki Minaj. I could have chose Iggy Azalea. I could have chose Jennifer Lopez. But I'm fucking Miley Cyrus. I just fucking Miley. Now I'm trying to fuck Miley Cyrus.
Also, this guy's like the whitest guy ever.
Yeah, and he's
Oh,
got,
he's white.
Now I'm trying to fuck
and he's got like white stitch. He's got like stitches on his face, like it looks like his mouth is sewn up.
my dick in your ass.
Like he's like that.
He's got a mohawk.
What's
sort of
that
thing.
dog, or what's that little doll called that has the stitch above?
Sackboy?
Yeah, he's got the Sackboy
Yes,
mouth
sir.
tattooed on his face.
That's pretty. It's a tattoo.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I can't pay you.
Is it like in a smile?
and like his eyes, he's got like red, like black eyes tattooed,
Is it
like the Joker.
red?
The black,
black.
like
Did you
black
hear-
eyes.
Did you hear that line? I can't pay your bills, Miley, but you can pay mine. The one thing I got for you is cocaine all the time.
Anyway, so that's Stitches.
Oh, he's,
I hope he marries Miley Cyrus.
What exactly is that gentleman going to do again?
I think he's gonna end up. He's gonna try and put cocaine in your ass, or my ass, or somebody's ass. Somebody's
people-
anus is gonna get filled up with cocaine.
I am downloading that song immediately, and I'm going to play it every time I wake up.
Isn't that awesome?
It is. It was awesome. I enjoyed that.
Okay, it's also NHL playoff time.
Yes, it is.
Today, the Montreal Canadiens defeated the Ottawa Senators to claim a second round spot. Do love my Senators. We also love Zach Smith. He kind of has a personal connection to Prehistoric Productions. His girlfriend was in
yeah.
our music video, and he actually was down for the shoot. So if you ever watched this, Zach, that was awesome. Unfortunately, the Ottawa Senators were eliminated. I hate that two Canadian teams had to go against each other in the West and the East,
Yeah.
which just keeps fucking happening. Thanks, Gary Bettman, you dick.
So much better.
Oh, like, yeah, like if we could have had lots of Canadian teams, like now it's so tough, but ultimately Montreal probably has a better chance, like we had said earlier, of winning the Stanley Cup.
I hate to say it, but yeah.
We're on a 22-year drought of Stanley Cup championship in Canada. It's our fucking sport. So hopefully, you know what, if it was a Calgary-Montreal final, it would be ridiculous.
If that would be unreal.
That would be so cool. Yeah. Minnesota beat St. Louis. That was whatever St. Louis. I was choking. So that's
Vancouver.
So that's what's going on. Vancouver also choked out again.
Yeah,
Not
sad.
surprising whatsoever.
What else you got on that list?
I've got talk about wisdom teeth. I say we briefly discuss how fucking annoying Lamborghini guy is.
Oh my God, we have to discuss Lamborghini guy.
All right, so
You'll actually probably. It would be so fucking ironic if that ad came up on our video before you watched it.
Oh, that would be amazing. I hope it does because that would just make this so much more relevant. If you go on YouTube with any sort of with any
Sort of frequency.
okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, then you've probably seen the ad of this stupid fucking guy, and it's like it starts like this. It's just this dude in a garage with a camera. That he's pointing at himself. He's pointing at
Selfie
himself.
stick, I think.
Yeah, probably a selfie stick. And he just says, hey, just bought this new Lamborghini here. And he's like standing in front of a black Lamborghini. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. And he's got the most annoying voice. He looks like the biggest
And the pauses.
Yeah, he looks like the biggest douchebag in the world. He looks like the most self-righteous prick in the whole
Oh,
world.
he's self-righteous.
And but anyways, essentially he's like trying to do some Ponzi scheme where he says he knows how to get rich. I don't know if he like does day trading or like what's his thing.
Oh God, some multi-level marketing.
Yeah, essentially
Scam, pyramid scheme.
it's totally scam. He just wants you to go to his site and then buy his knowledge essentially. But anyways, he
reads
goes
a book
on
a day every day.
He goes on to talk about how he reads a book a day,
He's
and
got he's like, you know, this Lamborghini means a lot to me, but you know what matters more? Knowledge. And he's like, I also just got this bookcase installed in the back of my garage. Why do you have a bookcase in your garage? That's fucking stupid. Put it in the house.
I have 2,000 new books. It's like to read 2,000 books, and if you're reading a book a day, that's just. Why would you buy 2,000 books at
That's
once?
7 years of
Why
reading.
wouldn't you buy like 30 books at a time?
Also, 2,000 books. Like they could be all like half of them could be Curious George. Those are books. Like, how do we know what kind of books he's?
I think it's
got?
like I just don't think
Cookbooks.
And then he's got another one.
you can't.
Yeah, I got a
read-
Lamborghini and a Ferrari, and they're fun to drive up in these Hollywood hills. Fuck off, buddy.
As I say, period. It's like YouTube. I might write you a strongly worded letter asking you to remove this ad from your website because it's fucking annoying. He's such a douchebag.
No.
It can't be legal. Like what he's doing,
It's
what
bad.
he's selling cannot be legal. Get rid of him. He's one of the few people in this world that I would take out with hitmen if I could. If that was an available thing to me, I would. I would pay for it
Would
immediately.
you give some of your limbs to?
Yeah.
This is a weird one. No, because you can only say that with positive things. With negative things, it doesn't really work. I wouldn't like.
But it is
Because it's got to be like, it's got to be something ironic. It's got to be like, oh, I'd give my 2 hands to play this game. Because it's like, oh,
I'd cut my dick off to kill that guy.
No. I'd cut my dick off to have sex with Scarlett Johansson. It's got to be something like that. It's like, because then
it's
you
really
can't.
About, it's about the irony, not the loss of limbs, is what he's saying.
Well, it's about the loss of limbs too. It's very visceral, but I mean, like, it has to like not make sense. It's like you could. With this though, it's like I can't really think of. I would give my. Nothing really works.
I don't know. I would not day trade through this guy if that's what you're thinking of doing. If you want to day trade with this guy, don't. Because he's not.
Francois just takes his third of the company and invests in it.
That's this guy. It's like me and
Guys, I found this amazing investment opportunity.
Me and Lamborghini guy just become
Yeah, it's
best
Francois.
friends.
Francois,
And this guy, hey buddy, it's Francois. It's fun to drive up in these
Hollywood
I got a
Hills.
new Lancer, Mitsubishi Lancer. It's fun to drive up in these Hollywood Hills.
you know what else is fun to do in the Hollywood Hills? Drink a fucking glass of water.
Yeah.
That's not happening anytime soon.
No, absolutely not. Up in these Hollywood Hills.
These Hollywood Hills.
How much time we got left?
10 minutes.
Okay, let's talk about Age of Ultron. Let's finish off with Age of Ultron. I didn't
Yeah.
give you enough time.
So, if you know me at all, you know I'm obsessed with like superhero culture and like I I spent
He's a fucking nerd, is the call the term we use.
I spent absorbent amounts of money on comic books and movies and just obsessed with it, having it since I was a child. And anyways, when I remember seeing Iron Man for the first time when it came out in 2008.
The first one was
And
so good.
and waiting, it's like I'd heard, I don't know who I'd heard it from, but somebody said like wait till the end of the credits. And then I waited till the end of the credits, and then Samuel L. Jackson came out, and he said, "Tony Stark, I want to talk to you. So you just become part of a larger world." And he's like, "Who are you? Get out of my house." And he's like, "I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative." Cut to black. Everybody, like, I shit my proverbial pants and being like, I just thought it was, but I thought it was something that was throwaway. That was just like, it's in there, it's not gonna do anything. And then it's like, bam, Incredible Hulk comes out, and then they at the end of that movie, and I didn't even. Because I didn't really go online, I didn't look up news or anything, it's just I just saw the movies. Incredible Hulk comes out. At the end of that movie, they have another stinger. Tony Stark goes talks to General Ross, and he's like, I hear that you have a problem with the Hulk, or whatever. Tony Stark is in the Incredible Hulk. It's like these two movies are now for sure connected. And then, bam, Iron Man 2 comes out. Same thing, they have a Thor teaser, and it's like, they're doing this. They're going all, like, they're teasing all the next ones, next superheroes, they've got a plan. And then, then the Thor movie came out, and then finally in Thor, they announced it's like Thor will be back in the Avengers. And it was like, they're going to go for the Avengers movie. And I still can't fathom that. It's like Harry Potter movies, it's not the same thing. It's like, it's books, you don't need planning. It's like, it's already there. It's like, with the Avengers, though, it's like this totally new franchise, totally new, the writing, it's these two totally new stories. That they got to somehow turn into this cohesive cinematic universe. And I remember I went and saw the Avengers with you actually, and just
but the thing is, like, it's not really a criticism of what you have to say, but if the three of us organized that, I would be really impressed. But they have teams of people and millions of dollars.
No, but the thing is, it's so difficult to get movies made. That's the thing. It's like, it is so ridiculously difficult to get something like that off the ground, to get people to fund it. It's like,
yeah, but Marvel has
it never worked.
But the thing
Because superheroes either did one of two things. It's like they either were really successful, like first X-Men movie, first two Spider-Man movies, or they totally tanked. It's like to sell somebody on a franchise like right away, and to be like, oh, we're gonna put stingers in these movies, and it's like it would have been so tough. It's like the only reason they were able to do it was because Marvel was able to get the properties back, and essentially they had control, and then they convinced Paramount to do it. But I mean, it's like Spider-Man 3. You can't just say, it's like, it would have been like essentially at the end of Spider-Man 3, they're like, oh yeah, there's going to be Spider-Man 4. You can't really do that. They tried it in the new Spider-Man 2, and look how that ended up for them. It's like there's no more, and now it's really weird because there's a stinger at the end of Spider-Man 2, or the new Spider-Man 2, that you see the Sinister Six suits, and it's like, but there's not going to be Spider-Man 3, so it's like this, you're totally blue-balled. So, it was such a huge, I just can't believe they got off the ground. Like, to pitch that and for it to go through and for people to be backing and be like, we're going to do, 6 movies? We're going to do Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, and then we're going to have our Avengers. We're going to have the big stinger. We're going to do it. And it's
the big thing is,
and they accomplished it, and the Avengers was fucking incredible. And that's the thing. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
How do you guarantee that movie's going to be good? Because the thing is, to have that hype and then to deliver on that last one, that's frightening for any filmmaker, for any creative person. It's like, we got 5 movies that are riding on the success of like this last one, this Avengers. And it's like, all of them got to be good solo, and then the Avengers has to be good. And the Avengers are fucking phenomenal. I think that blew my mind more than the fact that they actually got the Avengers made, was the Avengers was fucking really good too. That was incredible. It's like how they've got such a solid team at Marvel. Kevin Feige, I don't know how to say his last name. He's running the show, and he's like the greatest person in the world. He just knows what he's doing, and has such respect for that universe. And
I think the other thing, I read an article about why, for example, why there'll never be a Black Widow movie, because it's so much cheaper for them to, for example, Chris Hemsworth. Thor is a superhero that doesn't have a mask on, right?
Yeah.
So you need you need to have that actor continuously play Thor. So when they originally signed him to Thor, he wasn't really anything, right? Like, he hadn't been in anything. So they locked him in for like a super, like, 5 or 6 movie deal at a very low salary, in comparison to, say, Robert Downey Jr., who was asking for the fucking moon and stars. Now they knows that he's Iron Man, and what are they going to do, right? They have to pay him whatever he asks, or else fuck everything up. So superheroes with masks, it's easier to make that movie because you can get some no-name actor, lock them into a long-term contract, and you never really have to actually see their face. It's just you pay them for the scenes where they're not in their costume and their mask. You pay that actor for those scenes.
Yeah.
For the rest of it, it's just their voice and some stuntman in a
that's true.
suit, right? So it's way cheaper to make that movie, which means the profit margins are more. And
Oh, absolutely.
so I just kind of adding on to what you said, that makes the Avengers so much more impressive because a lot of those characters are.
Then you need them.
You need them, and they don't have masks, right? Like those are A-list
Because the
actors
Hulk
that you're
is
paying.
fucking changed.
Anyone can play the Hulk. Really.
See, that's something that me and Brad were talking, and something that frustrates him is how they change. Because with me, I don't want to see. I'm very much in the movement that it's like I don't want to see the origin story every 10 years. It's like with Spider-Man, it pissed me off. It's like you had Tobey Maguire.
The first one was
Tobey
so
Maguire.
good.
Well,
Tobey Maguire was so good.
They were good, but it's like then they reboot the franchise and we have to watch the origin again, and we have to watch them be whatever again.
Yeah,
It's like I don't
like that.
want to see this. Like I get it. Spider-Man gets bit by a fucking radioactive spider. We get it. Everybody's seen it. We know the origin story. It's like I don't want to have to see this. I don't want them to reboot Spider-Man every 10 years and I have to see that again and again and again and again and again.
Exactly. Fuck that.
I want with Marvel and what they've been saying they're going to do. It's like they haven't really held up to their word yet because that hasn't been going on long enough. But they said that they're going to James Bond it instead of reboot it. That just every few years, it's like when an actor gets too old, they're just going to replace him with a younger actor, and I love that. It's like I would love to see
so much better.
different takes on. It's like I feel really
fucking
bad
hate
for the
it.
guy who's going to replace Robert Downey Jr. because he is like Chris Hemsworth.
So you were saying Chris Hemsworth was the last thing you said.
Okay, so because like Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans, I feel like those guys, you can get a different actor to play them, and it's not a big deal because they're not as iconic. But it's like Robert Downey Jr. has made Iron Man his own. It's like he is Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for whoever's got to go after him. But it's like I don't feel bad for whoever's going after Chris Hemsworth. Like put on a Norse accent, look good, be blonde, you're good. Chris Evans, same thing. Muscles blonde. It's all you got. It's good. But it's like Robert Downey Jr. just the way he behaves and like how funny he is and like he's a tough show to follow.
The thing is, Robert Downey Jr. is an arrogant cunt, and
Tony
so
Stark.
is Tony Stark. So it just works
really well.
really well.
The thing I just don't like,
He hardly has to act.
And so I want to see different takes on this character. It's like comic books. You get different writers, you get different artists. You see them in different lights. It's like you see them in different stories. It's like it just fits that medium so well.
But for me, it's just not the same. It's like, oh, you're my black friend. No, you're not. It's just a totally different guy.
But I mean, they do that in James Bond. Like I don't understand why they can do it in James Bond. It's like Judi Dench is in all the new ones, the Millennium ones, and it's like Pierce Brosnan's there, but then it's Daniel Craig, and it's like, oh, you're James, but it's like, but you're not Pierce Brosnan.
I guess the reason with James Bond is because they did it before I was born.
And so
It was such a thing. Like it was way like there were already 3 James Bonds by the time I fucking was born.
3.
4.
There was
More than
there was
that.
20 some. There was like 19
No.
James Bond movies.
Actors.
Oh, I see. I see.
Oh,
what
Like
you
there
mean.
were already 3 different Bonds.
4.
92.
What do you mean by the time
Yeah,
now?
I was born. Like before I even.
No.
Oh, before you were born,
It would have been Daniel
Sean
Craig, Pierce
Con-
Brosnan.
No, before he was
Before I was born.
Oh, there's
Sean Connery, George Lazenby,
Yeah,
Roger
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore,
There's only 3 pre. No, there's 4 pre.
Pierce.
Craig is the 6th. Anyway, it doesn't
I get
matter. Regardless, like that was already established. And now when I get invested in a character, like I really like Chris Evans and I really like Chris Hemsworth, and you're not going to replace Scarlett Johansson. She's so hot.
But that's the thing. Like, there's like in a few years, she's not going to be as hot, so they'll find someone who's.
That's the thing is like I said, I want there to be superhero movies forever. I never want them to stop, but I don't want to have to watch the origin story every 10 years.
See, that's my other thing is I didn't read comic books, so I really like the origin story, and I don't really like them fighting guys. Like, that doesn't mean I don't like that part. I really like seeing superheroes in there.
The thing is, you've seen it once, so it's like you want to see it every 10 years.
Yeah.
I didn't like the new Spider-Man either. Like the James, what is his name? Like the something. The guy.
New Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. I didn't like that they rebooted that, and I guess part of it
Sony's
was-
just shit with properties. Like they just shit
just
on
hate-
Spider-Man.
I
It's
fucking
like
hate Sony. Fuck
it's
Sony.
like Spider-Man 1, good. Spider-Man 2, good. Spider-Man 3,
Eh.
bloody awful film. And then the new Amazing Spider-Man, I personally didn't like it. Solely the thing that really ruined it for me, was the stupid ass suit they did. I hated the new
Oh
suit.
yeah, the new suit's brutal.
And then Spider-Man 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they fixed the suit problem. The new suit looked really good. It's like, it's not a terrible film. It's like got action, but
It's also just not.
they just tried to squeeze. They did the same thing. It's like Spider-Man 3. They tried squeezing too many villains in it. Fucked the whole movie up. The writing was just shit. And then same thing with the new Spider-Man 2. It's like they just tried squeezing too many villains in. Sony's just like, we have to establish villains and we have to start a universe like Marvel. It's like, no, you don't do it by hastily screwing shit in and like trying to set up all this stuff. It's like Marvel. It's like they planned for years and like they have these really creative people that care about these properties and like they don't want to fuck it up. And it's like Sony's just like cram shit in there and try to get money.
Blockbuster,
And it-
money. Yeah.
It's just like, and I'm so glad that Sony and Marvel have finally come to an agreement and the Spider-Man is entering the Marvel universe. I will accept, the only reason I would accept another origin story from Spider-Man, although I think Marvel said they're not going to do it again,
Yeah, they have. They've
is-
announced they're not going to.
is because if they did, I would have accepted it just because Marvel has their boy back and I would have liked to have seen Marvel do their boy their way. And that's the only reason. I want to see Marvel with all their properties. I want to see them do the origins for all their properties and
I
then
agree
keep
with
it
you,
going.
yeah.
And then they'll have a comic book continuity. They'll have cartoons, and they'll have a cinematic universe that keeps going like the comic books. And then maybe you can.
Do you think Downey Jr.'s only got one more film in him?
I think he's contractually.
Yeah.
He's in the Avengers, this new one. There's no more Iron Man movies for like till
Is there
maybe
a third Iron Man movie?
there is. There's been
Have
3
I
Iron
seen
Man
it?
movies. Huh?
What is the third one?
That's the one that's got. We showed you the intro. It starts in Switzerland. I don't think you've seen it because you said you haven't seen the intro.
I haven't seen the third one either. I've seen the second one. and
We
the
should
The
watch.
second one was good, but it was also kind
Start
of.
downloading the third one right now.
I have it.
Okay, let's.
We
right
should.
away.
I was gonna say we should watch the third one. So, anyways, there's not gonna be another Iron Man movie because, like, right now they have phase. They did phase 1. They're just finishing phase 2. Phase 2 is finishing with Ant-Man, which is really weird. Ant-Man got pushed back, so it was after Age of
Isn't there
Ultron.
2 actors for Ant-Man too? Like there's 2
Maybe.
different Ant-Man.
Well,
or
Michael
something?
Douglas is playing Hank Pym, which is the original Ant-Man, but he's playing like an old Hank Pym. They're kind of changing a little bit because there's 3 Ant-Mans, but in the comic books, but the 2 that they're focusing on is there's Hank Pym and there's
And-
Scott Lang, and Paul Rudd's playing Scott Lang, and Michael Douglas is playing Hank Pym. And so, anyways,
Yeah.
Hank Pym is like in his 70s, and he becomes
And Elijah Wood did all those naked horse pictures.
What?
He took all those nude photos with horses.
What? Like, some of the shit that you say, I don't even know anymore. What's serious and what's just total fabrication.
No, that was real. Elijah
I don't-
Wood took all those naked pictures with horses.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Look it up. Look up.
Like, this is literally the prehistoric shit show.
Okay, Hank Pym, whatever. What were you saying?
Anyway, so yes, there's 2 Ant-Mans, but Michael Douglas is playing the mentor to Scott Lang in this.
Oh, so they're kind of doing like the Green Lantern, like there's another Green Lantern.
He's passing it down.
See that I'd love. I can do that all day.
Thing is,
But
you
you
don't-
can't pass Thor on. You could pass Iron Man on.
No, it's gonna be difficult to pass.
No, the thing is, like, you
No,
can't.
no.
I wouldn't accept it because it's like the whole point of the movies is that they're comic book representations. Like, I want Tony Stark to be Iron Man. I don't want another douchebag to be Iron Man. It's like they
What if his
could
son,
do
though?
it with. Like, it makes sense, but it's like that's not how comic books work. It's like the movies are representations of the comic books, and the comic books they don't hand down shit.
Elijah Wood took naked pictures with horses.
That's awesome.
Anybody who doesn't know, if you just Google search, what did you Google search?
Elijah Wood horse pictures.
Yeah, he didn't even put naked.
Horse
in.
pictures.
He took a bunch of nude photos with horses.
But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna go
I
see.
guess that's correct.
Oh yeah, and then what I was saying is that so phase 2 is ending with Ant-Man, and then they have phase 3 planned out. Phase 3 has like 10 movies. There's like a shit ton of movies in there, and I think it goes up until the end of 2018. And then after that, they've announced no plans or like what they're doing after
Okay,
that.
so are you telling me Ant-Man's going to be in the Avengers 3?
Yeah, probably. Like
Is
I don't,
Iron Man going to be in Avengers 3?
I don't know.
Why
That
they
I
call
don't
Iron
know.
Man.
Because I've heard that in this new Avengers, we're going to see when we go see it. But I've heard that like there's a big status quo shift and like a lot of shit changes and a lot of shit goes down in Age of Ultron. So I'm excited to see what happens.
And Ultron is an Autobot.
I know. Yes, he is an
Or he's a
Autobot. He is.
Decepticon.
He's a. I think he's actually a Decepticon because he's
That
evil.
franchise is just fucking
Awful.
horrid. It's
Just
horrid.
terrible. Like the
First
first
one was
Transformers movie,
so
good.
good.
Second one, trash.
Is Transformers
Third
its
one,
own
trash.
thing, or is it
Fourth one,
owned by
trash.
another company?
Hasbro owns Transformers.
I watched the Mark Wahlberg one.
Trash.
Absolute fucking garbage.
So bad. Such a bad movie.
Anyway,
It's not as bad. Like when I saw it the first time, I raved that it was the worst movie I'd ever seen. And I remember being in the theater and like being like 10 minutes in and being like, I'm walking out.
Terry
This
is the
movie.
worst movie.
Yeah, Terry.
But I will admit, I watched Age of Extinction again. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it is a fucking awful
It's
movie.
awful.
It
It's
is
just
not a good
awful.
movie.
Okay, well,
Terry is the gold standard for worst movies.
yeah, Terry's the worst movie ever made. Anyway, so if you haven't checked out any podcasts, other podcasts do that. Definitely buy a ticket for the next showing or your first showing of Age of Ultron. It's going to be an awesome movie. We're going to watch Iron Man 3 right away, which is going to be awesome. We'll talk about that
Keep
tomorrow
the
because we're going to film another
Buy
podcast.
tickets.
Buy tickets for the River Rat Riot.
Please.
Buy them now.
Buy them now. Get
While they're
tickets.
hot.
They're going to be good.
All
It's going to
20 of
sell.
you
It's going to
who
sell
watch this regularly.
76, man. 76.
That's
Anyway,
it, man.
thanks a lot, guys. Andrew will sign us off here.
That's we don't really have a sign off. It usually just kind of cuts out whatever.
Elijah Wood, Naked with Horses. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much.
Have a
Goodbye,
good-
everybody.
Bye, everyone. Live tweet.